Hey there, this is the Top Floor Please podcast, where women in leadership rise together. I'm your host, Melissa McCormick, executive coach and founder of the Grace and Salt Leadership Academy. This is your space to find clarity, grow in confidence, and lead with bold authenticity. Whether you're navigating the boardroom, building your team, or stepping into new territory, you're not alone. Let's talk real challenges, real growth, and real leadership, because the top floor isn't just a place, it's a mindset. All right, let's get started.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is the top floor. Excuse me. I'm just making some notes here. The Top Floor Please podcast. And I'm so excited that you're here. I'm Melissa McCormick, and I am just having a blast doing this podcast, quite frankly. But what we do is we help women rise in leadership without losing themselves. As I mentioned, I am your host, Melissa McCormick. So I just have a question for you today. So I want you to think about this. How many times have you felt like leadership was a lonely road? Like you know, in my book, Grace and Salt, it's 12 biblical lessons, leadership lessons that I learned while reading the Bible and incorporated it into my leadership style. But in that book, the first six lessons are all about um, leadership itself, and then the rest of the book, the other six lessons are all about surviving the chaos of leadership. Because we think, oh no, I want to be a leader. Do you? Because once you get there, you're like, holy smokes, is this lonely? It's isolating, right? You need to have, that's why I coach executive women and men, but primarily women, because it's lonely at the top and they have nobody else to talk to. So you need that other coach or advisor, mentor, that type of a relationship. So just thinking about that, how many times have you felt like your leadership was just a really super lonely road? You know, you're carrying the weight, you're carrying all of that from of expectations, but you don't have this safe place to process, reflect, or ask for help. Again, that is why I coach executive women. But you know, leadership doesn't have to be done alone. And so that's why we're going to dig into today's topic. And you need people around you who challenge you, who encourage you, who tell you the truth. How many times do you want a straight answer, but your employee or your colleague or whatever is afraid to tell you for fear of um, hurting your feelings, fear of hurting the relationship? They don't really exactly know how to tell you, right? How many times has that happened where you kind of feel like you can feel the air or or the tension or the energy change, right? That happens. And that might happen for you, that you needed to tell somebody something, but you didn't. And that's where grace and salt communication comes in, and where we do make sure that every conversation is filled with grace, but seasoned with salt, salt meaning truth. So whatever that message is, you're telling the person that message, but you're wrapping it in grace based on their circumstances and what they're going through. Now, okay, I got on my soapbox a little bit. That is not what today's podcast is all about, but that's just a reminder of the importance of grace and salt communication. But today we are going to dig into the power of peer mentorship and why building your own personal board of directors can completely change your career trajectory. Okay. So have you ever thought of it that way before? Have you ever thought about, I need a board of directors? Like I need my own personal board of directors. And so that's what we're going to lean into today. And so first, I just want to define something for you. I want to define what peer mentorship is. And it isn't about hierarchy. It's about having trusted peers at a similar stage who walk alongside you. So you're walking alongside each other. They understand your challenges because they're in them too. And you can have an open, safe, confidential conversation. And so I didn't even realize it until right now, but I'm building that board of directors right now with a group, a networking group that we're putting together that is called the CEO Sisterhood. And so we are small business entrepreneurs ours, all women that meet once a month, and it's just to chat about what in the world is going on, and whether that's challenges that you're experiencing, or and you can give them advice or they can give you advice. And so it's that's the feel of peer mentorship. It's that space for mutual learning, not one way teaching. Okay. So that's where it's super important to be thinking about this board of directors. Now, really, Melissa, why does it? I mean, one more networking, one more mentorship, one more kind of get together, whatever. I want to tell you why peer mentorship is a game changer. And there's three reasons why. One is perspective. Like you see the blind spots when someone outside of your day to day reflects things back to you. Like then you can see your blind spots. Where if you're in your day to day and you're in doing all the things and you're just in the whirlwind of life, you don't necessarily see your blind spots, but you can when somebody else points them out to you, right? So it's perspective. That's the first reason why this is a game changer. The second is because of encouragement. We all need encouragement. Leadership, my goodness, ladies and men, but ladies primarily is who I'm speaking to. Leadership is heavy, right? So when you have peers who get it, right, they keep you from burning out. They give you like the CEO Sisterhood program that or the mentorship group that I'm speaking about. That I love those times, and we get in person, right? We've talked about, do we want to do virtual or I don't want to do virtual. I want to be in community with these ladies face to face because they give me energy and I look forward to those times. It's not like I'm dreading it. I look forward to it. The third reason it matters is because of accountability. It's harder to hide from your goals when someone's walking with you, right? So they hold me accountable. This is what I'm going to work on this next month. Nicole's going to work on this next month. Kelly's going to work on this. Natalie's going to work on that. Laura's going to work on that, right? So, and whomever else we have that's in our program as we continue to build it. It's harder to hide from your goals, right? And just kind of giving yourself a pass when someone's walking with you. So those are the three big reasons why peer mentorship is an absolute game changer. So I'm just going to switch gears just a tiny bit, and we're going to talk about how to build your board of directors. So I like to call it a personal board of directors because you want to think about this. This is every company has a board, and so why shouldn't you? And when I first started this business, my neighbor, her and I would get together, not every week, but every so often for lunch. And actually, it wasn't my neighbor. I'm sorry. It was a friend of mine who was, I think about it, who was in the same business space as I am. And one of the tips that she gave me was, Melissa, you need to build a board of directors. Even though you're a solopreneur, you need a board of directors. And so that's the same concept as this. We need to build a personal board of directors. And these are the three roles that you want to find on your board. I want you to find the challenger. So that's that person who's going to ask those hard questions, right? They don't let you settle. They don't give you a pass. They're going to keep asking the questions. They're going to follow up with you. They're going to be that person who's like, well, but I thought you had mentioned this. And by the way, you need to give them permission so that they don't feel like they're going to be hindering or damaging the relationship if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and they call you on it. So the challenger, you need to find that person that you trust and give them permission and ask them, this is what I would like, the role I would like you to have in my board of directors. The second role is the encourager. So this is that person who reminds you of your strengths when you forget. That's the person that when the imposter syndrome, right? So that little voice inside your head, when that voice gets louder and you're feeling like, okay, I can't do this. This makes no sense. I'm failing. I'm not, I don't have the courage. I don't have the leadership skills. Whatever this little stupid voice is telling you, this encourager is going to remind you that that is totally not true. And here's why. Think about the things that you've accomplished. Think about the impact that you've made. Think about the people that you have impacted throughout your career or in the last week or the customers that you've secured or whatever it might be. You need an encourager. You need somebody to help you build your confidence back up when that imposter is pulling you down. And the final role that I want you to find is the connector. And so that's the one who opens doors and introduces you to opportunities. That's going to be your network connector. There are so many connectors in the world where that's just what they love to do. And they're just want to be there to help. Like in my CEO mastermind or my CEO sisterhood, um, we have connectors in there. And so that happens. Like one lady's an accountant and a CPA, and then another lady's a lawyer, and another lady is a financial planner. And just between the three of them, they are connecting and sharing, hey, I've got this person, or hey, I've got that person. So you need to find your connectors. So those are the three. This is how you're going to build out your board of directors. You're going to find a person who is going to be the challenger. You're going to find a person who is going to be the encourager, and you're going to find a person who is the connector. And be sure that when you identify that person in that role, that you explain to them what their role is and what your expectations are for this relationship, because not everybody really knows and just don't assume that they know, oh, you're going to be in my board of directors and I've chosen you, but they may not know what their role is and what the expectations are. So walk them through that. Identify how often you're going to meet. Is this going to be a formal relationship? Is this going to be an informal relationship? Can I talk to you whenever I need to? Or are we going to have a board meeting once a quarter? What does that look like? You're going to share your financial goals? Are you going to share your personal goals? Walk through all of those types of details with the group. And then it depends on what you're comfortable with, right? So I want this to be based on whatever your personal style is. So, okay. So here is your Grace and Salt coaching takeaway. I want you to stop doing leadership alone. Write down the names of 3 people that you trust who could fill the challenger, the encourager, and the connector roles. Reach out to them this week, right? So this week, set up that conversation. You will be so surprised at how much people want to walk with you and want you to succeed and want to be part of your success and part of your journey. So super excited about that. I can't wait to hear. Please DM me. Let me know how it's going. If you have any questions, I would be very grateful and happy to talk to you about that. If this episode did speak to you, I want you to share it with another person, some other leader in your circle. Maybe you can build your board of directors together. And if you really want to learn more about my executive coaching programs or the Esther Project, please go to Grace and Salt leadership.com. The Esther Project, the next cohort is opening October 16th, 2025. Okay, I want to end with this. When women lead together, we all rise higher. That's the ending. There probably is a blooper in here somewhere. I hope you have a fabulous day and and take care. And I'll see you next time.
Thanks for hanging out on the top floor. If today's episode gave you something to think about or a little boost, share it with your friend and keep the momentum going. And hey, if you're ready to find your voice and lead with clarity and confidence, check out the Esther Project. It's our foundational program at Grace and Salt, and it's built for women like you who are ready to rise. You can learn more at graceandsaltleadership.com. I'll drop the link in the show notes, and remember, you don't have to lead like everyone else, just lead like you. All right, I'll see you next time.